Hey guys, it's your boy Eli from Geek Centurions, and I'm here with good old Joey and my good buddy Daniel up there. We're going to talk about basically the new
What's up?
announcements that have been done with Xbox and PlayStation 5. Yeah, big tech and stuff. So, yeah, I think we're having a little issue with Daniel. He looks a little stoned to me. Are you a pillar man now, Daniel?
Uh, uh, I mean, you guys were acting a little weird on my end too.
So it's a two-way street. It looks like,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean,
Yeah,
We'll survive.
we'll persevere.
Yeah. For the video
yeah, we'll
guys
get
that are
through.
having a hard time looking at us, we'll be fine in audio wise.
Yeah.
So, guys, recently there's been a big announcement for the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. We were originally going to do something for this for during E3, but E3 is now gone. It's been kaput for a certain thing that happened, and now we have to talk about it now. Especially since last week they announced all the specs and all this stuff. Really, we're just going to go over the specs real quick because I don't know. Joey, do you know anything about the specs?
Uh, a little bit.
Daniel, how about you?
I mean, I heard everything. I know PlayStation's went really in depth in details about it, but let's just say I just got the gist of it.
Yeah, same. Especially since theirs was more of a GDC style presentation. Where for those of you who don't know what GDC means, I don't remember the acronym what it stands for, but essentially
GDC.
they're the big GDC. What did I say? CDC.
Yeah, you say
I
JDC.
swear. Uh,
All right, I'll take that. But basically the big tech guys. If you're into the tech, the RAMs and the teraflops, those are your guys to talk to. Especially considering how that's basically what they talked about, especially for both Xbox and PlayStation. But I feel like Xbox had a more in-depth look. Like they actually had people go in and touch the product, see the size of it, and very good showing off of the product. You can see actual gameplay differences and stuff like that. And especially since they showed off their big ray tracing thing, which is one of the things that they're all talking about. And Joey, you have your own thoughts about how that ray tracing thing is, but this is gonna be a real fun episode, guys. We're gonna enjoy it. But essentially, let's start off with just talking about these specs, just to get it just out of here. Because I'm not a big specs guy, but I'm also not a big, but at the same time, I'm a big console gamer because that's what I am. So right here, we got it from IGN.com. They were curious enough to have it all lined up, both blue and green. I'm about to show you guys on the video. Just give me one quick second. And there we go. You see it, Daniel? Do you see it? I see it.
Yeah, yeah, I see it.
took a second.
Took a second. I mean, that's the delays and stuff because the Wi-Fi in Houston's kind of shitty. Hey, I'm not wrong about that.
Well, I feel like in most parts, you probably have to pay a lot for fiber and shit like that.
True. So Daniel, we both know, all three of us know that we do not have a price tag yet, but we can all infer that probably around 500, $600 for either or. I mean, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I come to expect it to be expensive at launch. It always has been. I remember PS4 came out for $399, while the Xbox came out for $499, I believe.
The time
And
where PlayStation 3 was $600, right?
Yeah, the PlayStation 3, I think at launch was 600.
yeah, $699 US dollars.
Man, they'll never learn because they're always, especially with E3, they always show off something that will make people mad. It was the price tag for PlayStation 3, DRM policies for Xbox, and now we'll see how this goes. Even though E3 is kind of put, as I said earlier. But, we both know they're probably going to release around the holidays. That's a big push for a lot of these consoles. So always go for that holiday release date because everyone wants to buy a console during the holidays. Am I right, guys?
I mean, yeah.
No, you go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. It's just that consoles are always sort of the big hitters for like holiday sprees, So they want to get you to spend money during like Christmas and like stuff like that.
Yeah, that's where like most of the traffic comes in for a brand new console.
Yeah, we'll be talking about why one of us might go with the other real soon. But, just to go over, they have a surprisingly enough, it's well actually not really that surprising. Both consoles are trying to go for that same push in terms of everything. They both trying to go for that 4K drive, 4K look because everyone wants that good old 4K look. I'm pretty sure you guys seen movies or games that have that 4K look, and you're like, Jesus, that looks amazing. Especially from the Sony side because they're trying to make it all cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's just there's really nothing much to compare. They're basically saying the same thing, but as we look through these specs, we'll come to notice that some of them kind of take more advantage of one thing rather than the other. There's the data transfer speed, which it looks like PlayStation has one up for Xbox. What do you guys think that is? That means for PlayStation.
I mean, I see them going for the speed side of things. They want to have their players, get in there, have the game ready to play at the moment to put the disc in, and start from there.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, like, yeah, because that's a big thing nowadays, and especially show the software in Xbox, where they you don't have to worry about loading speed. It's going to be quick and easy. They had earlier they had an Xbox and a Xbox Series X and Xbox One X. God, these namings, I swear to God.
Yeah, a lot of X's everywhere.
It doesn't help at all. But essentially, the One X, which is their highest power console at the moment, kind of took less. It took less than a minute to load us again. The game State of Decay 2, while the Series X was a lot faster than that, which is essentially you're loading a game that's faster than a minute. And from what PlayStation has been telling us, which might be a big thing for a lot of people, is that it's going to be a lot quicker. And
It
Daniel, I
is.
think you mentioned that. You go ahead.
Yeah. There was actually like footage out there you can find where they tested out footage using the Spider-Man game on PS4, and they used the same game for PS5 using the fast travel thing. So whenever they did fast travel on the PS4, it will clock into around 8 seconds, but on the PS5, it only took maybe just 1 second to go through fast traveling.
Interesting. I mean, how do you guys feel about the whole this whole idea of trying to make the whole games load faster than it was for previous generations? For me,
I
I feel
mean,
like there's not gonna be much of a difference.
I'm up for it. Like if they can get the game installed as soon as possible, I put the disc in. That's great. If I can go ahead and get the day one patch immediately, quick like that, completely fine. Loading screens, it doesn't really bother me that much. But if you're gonna take forever, like to a point where I notice it's taking long, yeah, we're gonna have a problem. But no, I'm up for everything that'll get things done faster. I mean, I still remember having my Wii U day around Christmas time. I opened it and I had to do this big, massive day one patch, and I kid you not, that shit took like I think the entire day to download.
Really, that was the same
Yeah.
for us when it came to Master Chief Collection. That was like one of the big games that we wanted to play. It's granted it's like 4 games, and at the time it was 4 games in one. Right now it's 6 games in one. But like,
Hmm.
how long did that take to load?
It was a while. It was definitely a while. I mean, even now, sometimes there are some games that take hours to just install. So I think the idea of like wanting to push sort of like loading time like speeds to like less than a couple of seconds and stuff like that. I think it's a sort of a pretty good endeavor for these game developers and the console makers.
No, yeah,
Yeah, like
I agree.
like they're hearing our complaints that it's taking too long to just to get in and play the moment we get the game. I think they're trying to resolve that problem.
Mm-hmm. And Daniel, you were saying earlier that Xbox is trying to go for more of a power thing going on, which is they're trying. You're saying they're trying to make everything look more like 4K ready, I guess. 8K.
Like, I don't know the full. I can't talk today. I don't know the full details. But
Yeah.
yeah, like both consoles, they're aiming at 8K. I don't know what it means when they say 4K native. I think it means just like it's naturally 4K, nothing else needs to be needed or upscale. But yeah, like they're heavily focusing on showing the power of it. Like better this, better that, and everything. Well, like when you compare the specs to the PlayStation, you can obviously tell that they're going for more for the speed. So they're trying to get things more faster and quickly, more efficient. While the Xbox wants to boast and show off its prowess in the games.
Yeah, because like, what was it? They were showing off, and I can immediately show the ray tracing, which is a big thing now. They're all talking about with both, but specifically like Xbox is that the ray tracing for say Minecraft, and yeah, it's Minecraft. It's always gonna look pretty, but considering how the ray tracing will essentially wishes to look through the game, and you guys can clearly see it on the screen. It is amazing, especially with the lighting, because that's essentially what it does. It improves on the lighting. The way everything looks so, it's amazing. There's no other way to say it. It looks amazing, especially and if you look up any like the other games that they announced for Series X, Setsuna Hellblade, the second Hellblade game,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah,
Halo
it's an
Infinite.
Now, what's really interesting though is that Xbox, they're doing this like no gamer left behind thing where I don't know how long they say exactly. They say about like 1 to 2 years. They want to have players from the Xbox One era to be able to play those games in case they don't
You're
have.
right. You're right. There,
Yeah,
I don't think it says on here, but essentially, they're planning on doing some like really cool stuff. That like, hey, if you have an Xbox, if you get the Series X, don't worry about all that stuff. We got you covered, and we'll be talking about that in a minute. But
yeah, because
when
they
when
know that not everyone's going to go ahead and jump to the Series X because it might sell
oh
out or people don't have the money for it. But they still want them to be able to get in and play those games.
yeah, and that's, I love that. I really do love that.
Like that's a
It's
nice
an
touch.
amazing idea. Yeah, and I remember one big thing coming out from the specs talk is that PlayStation will have a NVMe SSD slot with a USB. Oh no, that's the storage. I'm sorry, that the storage for PlayStation 4 is a custom one, which is an 825 gigabyte SSD storage drive, while the Xbox has a 1 terabyte NVMe with a SSD storage drive. And Daniel, you were the one that was most surprised about this. I didn't even believe it until you showed me the article. But essentially, Xbox is gonna bring back memory cards.
Yeah, like I remember, like I don't know, one of those pictures of one of those Xboxes, right there on the back of the console. It shows like a big gap in there, and it had me wondering, it's like, why is there a big gap? What is that for? And now we finally got our answer. That's going to be where you'll put in the memory card.
Yeah, and Joey, how big is this memory card, like in terms of storage?
I'm not positive, but I think I've read that I think they go up to like 1 terabyte. I think either
Yeah,
one
which is
terabyte
actually
is the
not that bad.
standard, or yeah. Oh yeah, I think the image that we see here says 1 terabyte on that card.
Ooh,
So
Yeah,
that's
like the
that's
ones
big
on the
box too,
card right
actually.
there. Yeah,
I
and
think
one of
what's
the
most.
biggest,
Now you can go, Daniel.
yeah, like the biggest reasons why they're bringing back the memory card is because Microsoft, they developed a system in a way where if you want to go ahead and uh upgrade your hard drive, you literally have to tear down your Xbox and then find the hard drive and then change it from there, and that voids the warranty. So to have people be able to upgrade an Xbox's memory without voiding the warranty whatsoever, that's where the memory cards come in.
And for me, that's crazy. Like we're going back to these. Not saying it's a bad thing to go back to like the memory card days, but that's it's so nostalgic. Really, that's what I think I like. That's what I like about it the most.
Like I have nothing wrong with memory cards. I remember like having to upgrade my PS4's hard drive. I had to take it out, yeah, get the screws out, make sure I don't lose anything, and then switch it out. Uh, while it was fun doing that, it's a pain. it was still annoying where I had to do all that just to upgrade my memory. But now, if we could have like a simple memory card to hold all that extra storage, that'd be great. Because if I ever want to go back, I never have to delete a game off of anything whatsoever. I'll just plug it out and then plug in the whatever memory card has the game info.
Oh yeah, especially like now, like games are getting more bigger and bigger. We were just talking about how like it took forever for my history collection to get to be like installed into like Xbox, all that stuff. But not also that because it was like really again at the time it was like 4 games in one. The storage, the memory storage on that was like that took like a good 1/3 of our whole memory. Remember?
Yeah, on our original Xbox, yeah, it takes up a lot of stuff. Yeah.
And like knowing that we're not only are we getting a 1 terabyte day one, you can also I don't even know the cost for it for these memory cards. It could be more than I would hope for it to be, but knowing that I can just easily like plug in more than 1 terabyte in there,
Like
like I
if
can
it
have one
costs
for like
just like if it just costs the same as a hard drive, like going to a Best Buy and just buying one from a PC, I'm completely fine with that. I think I paid like I remember maybe $60 to $70 for our new hard drive. If that's the
really
case, yeah.
that would actually make a lot of sense too.
And then
Yeah, I'm.
like go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. Honestly, I kind of agree. I'm hoping that like the price isn't like really high because the memory cards are sort of like proprietary from what I hear,
Mm,
meaning that like
Mhm.
Xbox makes the memory cards. As far as we know, we aren't sure like if you can just get any old regular like uh 1 terabyte hard drive, plug it into the Xbox, and use that its own thing. Because if that's the case, then you really want to. If you can't use any other hard drive except the ones that Xbox makes for the Series X, then you really want to hope that stuff is just cheap.
Like
yeah,
I,
and like go ahead,
like
Danny.
I think they are like supporting other external hard drives as well. If you look through the specs guide, it shows like USB HDD support. That basically means that if you have a USB that plugs into the console, then you could use that for external storage.
Okay.
Nice. I'm gonna go back to talking about you guys before we go back to the image, but essentially, this huge storage stock is something. External storage is something that I know as an Xbox guy, that's has always been kind of a big thing for me. Would you guys rather have I said I had to buy a separate hard drive for my games because I had too many games at this point, and also having a Switch, I know I have to buy like one of those little tiny ones. Where do you are you fine with just buying that $60, or you can just buy like a $40 one, tiny one, doesn't have to take up much space? I don't know. What are you guys? How do you guys feel about that?
Uh,
Like
Repeat the
personally,
question for
like
me.
I'm fine with the little memory card if it's if it's a little pricier, like I'll buy it. I mean, it's less space. I mean, I don't have that a weird dongle hanging out of my Xbox that's extra memory. I'm completely fine with
Mm-hmm.
that. And what's really important is just how will the options be like for the players out there. For example, like again with Nintendo, their 3DS, and now the Switch, they use micro SD cards, and there are many companies that makes micro SD cards. SanDisk being the most well known one. It gives you a lot of choice. I remember with the Vita, you're forced to use whatever memory card Sony makes because they're the ones that makes the memory card, no one else does. So they're pretty much forcing you to pay like I don't remember how much it was, but I spent maybe almost $100 on my memory card, which goes up to maybe, if I remember correctly, 64 gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I mean, if that's the case, then yeah, I think you're right. And I mean, I much rather prefer these memory cards. Not saying that it's a bad thing, but I just essentially wanted to know you guys' stance on that, whether it be like SD cards or a big old terabyte thing.
I mean, I am like fine with anything if it, as long as it's like affordable. I mean, I won't lie. The fact that the Series X has 1 terabyte in it makes me at least hopeful that like it'll have enough storage for like a lot of different games. Because I don't know, it's super weird to me that the PS5, seeing the specs, has only 825 like gigabyte storage. So I don't know. I find that super weird because I'm pretty sure the PS4 Pro has like a 1 terabyte hard drive. So
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what the
It
reasoning for
does.
that is.
Well, remember, I think it's if you
I'm
remember
not
the
sure.
press
Maybe.
conference with the guy. You were saying, Daniel?
Oh, I was just saying, like, I might be wrong with this, but I think that's like the actual
Let's
size
see.
you get with it. Because, hello, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh, okay. You're frozen up right there, but yeah, I can hear you.
Hey,
All
So,
there
right,
you
all
go.
right, all right,
uh,
all right, all right.
That's what
so
happens with the
as I
webcam
was
stuff.
saying, I think it's okay. So yeah, basically, like whenever you buy like a new console, it tells you 1 terabyte, but when you actually go to the system settings, it's never truly 1 terabyte free, because you do have the operating system and some other things going on as well that takes up the space. So I might be wrong on this, because this does seem like a lot of space, just to hold all those operating system data and other things like that as well. That might be why it's 825, but again, I might be wrong, because I don't I don't think
Well,
an operating system takes up that much memory.
it's one of those things where recalling back to the press conference for Sony, while that essentially they it makes it seem like they're the less powerful one, but they do it for a reason. And I think it goes back to what you were saying, they're trying to make it more of a
Mm-hmm.
speed thing than anything else. So essentially, like it might seem like it's less
Yeah.
powerful, but it'll work just as best compared to the Xbox. But we don't know yet until it comes out. But another thing that I really want to talk about is that for one,
Yeah.
there's going to be essentially a backwards compatibility portion of the thing, and I know that's something that we're all want to talk about right now, and I'm happy to talk about that right now, especially with what I feel like Xbox is doing that makes it so impressive. Is that essentially Xbox's whole deal is that it's backwards compatible all the way to OG Xbox, while Sony is like the first 100 games
Mm-hmm.
of the PS4 era.
It's the I think the top 100
Yeah.
games most played, based on like user data and stuff like that.
So what I mean,
Yeah.
how do you
Like
guys feel about that?
yeah. They yeah. During the conference, they say the top 100 games based on hours played by the players. People were concerned that it was only just those specific 100 games, but then Sony came out and changed up the wording a bit to say that they'll try to have like at least almost like 4,000 or more of their games playable on the PS5, which I could see why, because
Oh,
Xbox,
okay.
I mean, they didn't have every single game available to play, but they over time they were able to get like most of the games running on the Xbox One.
Yeah, and I think that's like one of the big things that we're all interested in is that they can run it all the previous games on there. And I think that's the most like as a consumer, knowing that maybe I might not be able to buy a new game for the X for the Series X, knowing that I can at least play all my past games, no matter which one it is the thing that's gonna makes me more inclined to go for a Series X than a PS5. Because like I
Hmm.
might not have those 100 games that PlayStation is talking about. I might just have 15 of them, but I still want to play, say, this old game that you don't see anymore. But hey, doesn't matter because in Xbox I can just play it. And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I don't know
Yeah,
about you guys. I feel like that's how
yeah. I know a lot of PlayStation fans are disappointed too.
it
Even
should be
myself.
going.
What's up?
Oh no. I was waiting for you to say something.
Oh, sorry. Um, like a lot of PlayStation fans were disappointed when they were bringing up the backwards compatibility stuff. Yeah, we thought that PlayStation they would learn from Xbox, considering that again they got 360 games running, they got even the original Xbox games running now, so they were hoping that they would bring back backwards compatibility for the original PlayStation and PS2 and maybe even possibly the PS3. But it was kind of disappointing to hear that they said all they have planned is just for the PlayStation 4.
Hmm. And and I think another cool thing is that not only is it backwards compatible in games, but it's also backwards compatible with a lot of the previous accessories. Specific, for Xbox, I can use a Series X controller on my One X. I can use a One X controller on the Series X, so far back and forth kind of stuff, which sounds like it sounds like I don't have to spend so much just to play the new Series X, and I love that. And remember, they're bringing in this interesting function where I think, well, I forget what it was called, but it was the best example is when they're talking about Cyberpunk 2077, where if say you buy it for the One X or like any of the current consoles that are out for Xbox, and you buy a Series X, you're you don't have to worry, you don't have to rebuy it. It would automatically like give you the most updated version for that system, which I'm like, that is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. I don't have to spend or wait
Yeah,
for so long just to get that immediate thing. It's going to be available as soon as it can be. And I'm like, wow, that is. Xbox is being really creative this generation, and I'm very proud to say that I'm more likely to lean towards them right now.
yeah. No, like Xbox is definitely trying to get back the consumer size on them. It was very underwhelming for the majority of the Xbox
Yeah.
One generation. They're trying to win back everyone back, show that we got all this stuff coming in.
Hmm. Yeah, and there's just no way they can like top themselves right now. But moving on to something much a
Mm-hmm.
little more interesting is that Xbox is bringing in this thing called Quick Resume, where I can basically have 5 games all at the same time. They automatically and transitioning to each one is not it's not going to hinder my gameplay. It doesn't have to restart. I can just start off where I left off. So I can be in the middle of a game in Halo. Obviously not multiplayer wise, but like I can just like say I'm some point in the game I can just stop, immediately want to head out to some fighting games or whatever. But yeah, I think that's Xbox is showing a lot more creativity this generation, as I said earlier, because that's something you don't see from PlayStation. Jay?
No,
Yeah.
I definitely kind of agree with that sentiment. Uh, and it's probably why I think Xbox devoted a lot of time to um, you know, making the Series X so powerful, just to like run that feature. Because I assume that takes up a lot of like power. Having to like run five different like up to like five different games that are essentially like on pause, and then you quickly return to them without like a loading screen or like restarting the game. That probably takes up a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Daniel?
I like the neat idea. Yeah, like
Daniel?
I have those moments all the time where I'll be playing a solo. Hello. Am I good?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I think it's a great idea. I know, like, I had many moments where I'll playing a single player game, going through the story by myself, and then out of nowhere, I get invited by friends. hey, go ahead and play some games with us. And so I had to like find a safe spot in the game and then go ahead save and close the game and then put go ahead and switch. But knowing I can go ahead and just pause the game right there and then have to just save my point right there, and not worry about closing it down or anything like that. That seems like a great idea. So I do feel like yeah, it'll take up a big portion of like the system's memory or something.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that's like the just the big talk. Aside from the stuff, it's just the it's just the usual stuff you could see. Especially if we look at again look up through IGN, where it's this is how it's gonna work. This is how it is. But aside from other stuff, this hasn't been much of announced. We don't know anything about no bundles. We don't know anything about how everything's gonna work. We just know how this is how these consoles are, and I think, and in a couple of minutes we're gonna be talking about how we think this could go, especially with considering the big announcements. Which consoles are kind of doing better in terms of announcements? Which ones are we most interested in? Because let's face it, guys, this is the weirdest time to be a console gamer, especially if you feel like you're more inclined to one or the other. But we'll see how it goes, and yeah, we'll immediately talk about that in a couple minutes. Just give us, you know, just give us some time. We'll talk about it. So yeah, had to do a quick little thing there. Sorry about that, guys. But essentially, we were talking about how with how these consoles are coming out, which one are we most excited for, or like which one did the presentation make us feel more inclined to purchase? And I think that kind of leaves us in a very big questionable state, I guess, for some of us. I don't know about you, Daniel. How do you feel about this?
Uh, I'm mostly leaning in with PlayStation right now, only because I know they'll have some games coming in, but with Xbox, I want to see what else they're coming in with now. Because yeah, it was a surprise to see a sequel for Hell's Blade. I'm very excited for that new like arena fighting game. I think it was called Bleeding Edge.
Oh yeah, that's right. Totally forgot about that game.
Yeah,
Really.
but if we're looking just at the consoles, yeah. But if we're just looking at the console side of things, then so far Xbox has my full attention. I'm still in the dark about PlayStation right now.
Yeah, I think that's what's holding it back. We just don't know that much when it comes to PlayStation, and I think that's hindering them. Because I talked to this with Joey. He's like, Xbox Six knocking out of the park right now. We're more interested in what's going on with them. But the thing that probably might change our opinion is just the price tag.
Yeah.
Because like you were telling me, I don't remember what you said,
Yeah,
Joey. But sorry, Daniel.
like I know.
Go for it.
Oh yeah, because I know Sony they're withholding this information because they're waiting to see like what are the specs and the pricing for the Xbox Series X because they want to know the price right away and they want to see if they can go ahead and pull the same thing like they did at the beginning of the last generation where the Xbox was $100 more than the PlayStation.
Yeah, I think they're waiting for a fuck up, and now they're fucking up. I think that's the best way to say it, right, Joey?
I guess, they're just like they're trying to like I feel like they're trying to like figure out the competition and trying to like counteract their competition like that. I think it's sort of similar to what happened when
Yeah.
like the Xbox announcing the DRM stuff and then Sony like being like PlayStation being cheeky and being like here's how you trade games, use games on PS4, and they just hand each other the games. Like that was like a huge meme at the
Hmm.
time. So I don't know, maybe they're like
Yeah.
wanting to like try to like just pull that off, I guess.
Yeah, it's just there's just a lack of transparency. Like we know about some things, we just like if you're gonna hold out on people that wants to know more about the console, at least like maybe every once in a while give us a small little tidbit of details to it because we really don't have anything else to go off from the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, like I just want to know what it looks like because the Series X, it looks like just like a giant like black box.
It's a monolith, dude. It's like three. It's the size of three Xbox controllers on top of each other, and it's the width of one Xbox controller.
Yeah, like it's super. It's like I don't know. It's like an interesting design. I just want to know what the PS5 looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in the controller too, because they're doing this thing where like basically they can let developers determine the pressure of it. So if they want to make you feel like you're holding gripping onto something to dear life, they'll have it where now the triggers, make it very hard to push down on.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so for example, you're like you're in an airplane, like the door hatch opens up, and then you're flying out, and then you happen to luckily like grab at the edge of
Mm.
the door. Like it's gonna be very yeah. For that example, it will be very hard to pull down on the triggers because you're trying to grip on for
Yeah.
dear life.
And I think the most interesting thing that we can talk about when it comes to like these two things is that, for one, Xbox's presentation has been much more direct, I guess, because like they're showing us everything. They showed us the Series X at the end of last year. Sony hasn't done much, but all we know is the specs. All we know is
Hmm.
rumors. All we know is these concept designs for what the game, for what the console might look like. But that's not helping them. It's not, because everything that Xbox has been showing me has been like, "Yo,
It's
that's
and that doesn't even help.
you were saying."
Yeah, it doesn't even help. Like developers, they already have the dev kits. They have dev kits for PS5 and the Series X. They know what's going on and what's behind the system. We still don't know anything about it. Literally, the only other detail I can say is that there's this weird. It was also announced at the Game Awards was a PS5 launch game where it's kind of like it's like a slash looter.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember that.
We were. It was just like we were all like, "Oh, it's just Destiny with swords."
Yeah.
And what's weird?
Yeah,
No,
and
you'll finish.
no, that's just about it. We don't know anything else.
Yeah, and what really bothers me is that we already know some heavy hitters for Xbox. The Hellblade game, the let's obviously the new Gears game, but the big one's the Halo Infinite, which when it was first announced, my God, that was an amazing announcement. Even like the last trailer they released, the one with that one dude fighting Chief in the middle of space, I'm like, yo, if this is how the game looks, this is like gonna be like the hopefully one of the best games, Halo games, in a long time. But like, what does Sony have? Sony hasn't announced anything for us to be fair enough. Sony has the
No,
exclusives. That's the thing that has always like garnered them so much attention. But Xbox is kind of giving us this sort of helping hand for the gamers who just can't do any of that stuff. It's we're in this weird place, and when it comes to announcing new consoles, you need something to bring us in. And so far, unless you're a diehard Sony fan like
mhm.
yourself, Daniel, because I know you're going to be buying that Persona 6 game, whatever.
If they make one.
like like not even, but yeah, like the reason I'm still sticking with PlayStation is because like they do have all these exclusive games that Xbox they're lacking. I mean, they're they're the consoles that are gonna have like Persona, God of War, Yakuza. Like I could go on and on. I mean, they bought Insomniac recently, and I think Marvel is very interested in making a sequel for the Spider-Man game. So yeah, they still have things lined up to go.
You're not wrong. That was their always their headline thing. Hey, we got these games. Don't get me wrong. Xbox is like, we're getting games now, but you probably won't see exclusives till like a year later. Which for some people that might be a negative.
Yeah, like I think
You're saying?
yeah, but like I think the last Xbox game I bought was maybe Dead Rising 4, and the reason I got it right away is I don't remember why, but yeah, I bought it right away because it was a time exclusive for the Xbox, and that was about it. Like the only other games I bought for it was maybe Killer Instinct and then Rare Replay.
Yeah, they don't have much for anyone, but they're trying to get more. I mean, they got Ninja Theory, Hellblade, all that stuff. But we're probably knowing that it's not going to
Yeah,
stay.
I'm surprised they bought Double Fine.
Right? Can I get a Brutal Legend 2, please?
I want a Brutal Legend 2.
That's all I want. But essentially, you know, when they announce that you won't get exclusive until next year, I think that's a that's not a good thing to hear. But at the same time, they're like, by the way, we're also backwards compatible with all Xbox games. That's like, what? And like I said earlier, that's already like a must purchase for me because the fact that I can already play majority of my games already. But going back to it, it's
Yeah,
Xbox has been knocking the announcements out of the park. I feel like the big moment when Sony's going to announce their thing, we're probably going to forget a lot about the Xbox Series X.
Possibly.
I don't know. What do you think, Daniel?
like maybe if I don't know, like PlayStation, they have a lot to go again with the backwards compatibility. Like, I get you're excited for it because you always had like Xbox, you have the 360. I don't know if you have the original. I the first Xbox console I personally own now is the Xbox One, so I don't really have a lot to go back on. I mean, plus most of the games that I would like to go back and play, it's been remastered or brought over now.
I mean, yeah.
And PlayStation, like I have the PS3, I have some PS1 games. I mean, I shelled out money for that JoJo PS1 game, and I would love to play it on my PS5. But one, I don't even know if they're planning to do it, and two, it's probably just gonna be the PS4
Yeah. You're right.
because uh, they have they have this incentive to focus more on the PlayStation Now service, where that's where you get your games now. Like that's where you play PS3 games, so that way you don't have to worry about backwards compatibility.
But I think the thing that's limiting it still is the first 100 games. While Xbox is like, no, these games, if you got them, you got them. That's it. You're gonna play them. I think it's because they had the whole Xbox. What's it called? The Game Pass.
Yeah, I think yeah, similar to like how Sony's been like trying to push PlayStation Now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's partially because Xbox has actually had like a lot of good success with Game Pass, from what I've heard. Like, because Game Pass and like PlayStation Now are basically sort of like a Netflix style of like you can just stream games, and if you like them, then you can just buy them off of the streaming service, and you can get to keep them. From what I understand, so like I think both like PlayStation and Xbox are like looking at these and being like, these probably could help us a lot. So they're probably trying to invest more in
Yeah,
those services.
they have said they're trying to invest more in the cloud service thing. Which, let's face it, they're probably the only good ones aside from. Yeah, that's probably the only good ones because Stadia is not doing good.
Right, Xbox is like committed to like their own like cloud sort of a thing, Project X Cloud,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in beta, I think, in certain places. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah, and like just moving forward to that, I think I don't know. What do you guys think the future holds? What out of these two consoles? Usually, personally, I feel like I might have enough to buy both. I wouldn't mind having both. I love both systems. I'm like, there's games I want to play on the Xbox. There's games I want to play on PlayStation. I'm not gonna deny that. I would love to play the new Spider-Man game, but I'm also a diehard Halo guy, so I'm probably I'm in that middle line. But I would love to see what happens in the next few years. I don't know who you think might have a better standing this generation compared to last generation.
Uh,
Damn.
if I had to pick right now, like even though Sony's being very hesitant on being weird on how they're displaying their stuff. I think Sony still has a lead right now because, yeah, like we know, yeah, they bought all the studios like Ninja Theory, Double Fine, and the other cool studios that we like. I just need to know what games are coming out that will interest me because this generation they only offered me just a Forza Horizon game each year, and that's about
Yeah,
it. They're, and even then, if they were still to use their current IPs like Gears of War or Halo, they need to blow me out of the park because
Halo's not blowing you out of
I
the park.
5 wasn't that well received. No, I love Halo. Like I like 1, 2, 3, ODST, and Reach, but like ever since they switched to 343 Studios, like they're you haven't able to land the same magic that Bungie did.
Fair
And
enough. I think.
especially with Gears of War 4, when Epic Games no longer developed them, uh,
Say
yeah,
again, Nick?
especially with Gears of War, like
Yeah.
I had fun with the Gears of War trilogy. Yeah, even yeah, Gears of War Judgment, and then suddenly when we jumped to Gears 4, it's like it feels like it, but I don't really feel anything. It's okay. Just
Mm.
nothing enough
Which
to
is
make
weird
me
because
want to go
five was
back.
the most was well received out of the two.
Like I heard some good things about 5. I haven't picked up 5, but
Same, I haven't either.
you know, like
But no, it's
uh,
it's
like maybe if I pick it up, I'll like
yeah,
it.
but it's one of those things where
I don't know, but
for me, both developers are finding a way their balance with it. I think Infinite looks like the best option for 343. They've done some really good stuff, but they've done some really bad stuff in my opinion. But
mhm.
they I think they need a right just hand to help them go through the line. But no, it's you're right.
Yeah,
The games are what matter the most. Sony has not let us down yet. They haven't. They've produced us really great games like Last of Us, Spider Man, Yakuza,
like they have not.
Persona
They
5.
kept
And I think it's
delivering.
because most of these, yeah. And I think it's mostly because they have such a huge connection with the Japanese market, which have, I'm not saying they're always great games, but like they have,
No, they do.
like, they, they have a connection to those companies, which makes it so much easier for them to get themselves more prestige games. Like you don't see Guilty Gear on Xbox because like that's a Japanese company working with we might not work with like an American company. Yet they're finally getting the net coding right. Thank God.
Yeah. But yeah, I hate to correct you, but there was a Guilty Gear game on
Really,
Xbox, but it's not a fighting game. I think it was like I think it was a top down like a turn based strategy. I think it was strategy something,
really.
but yeah, you don't see that much. And again, like again with the Persona series, like you see the mainline games exclusive to the PlayStation, but whenever you do see like spin-offs like Persona Q on the 3DS or the fighting game Persona 4 Arena being on the 360, that's about it. You're never going to get like a full mainline game on
No,
there.
I think that's because Xbox has made itself known for like Western developing games. But like even then, it's always been kind of like eh. But like knowing now that they're focusing much more on different game developers, I think it has a higher chance. I don't know. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, like I think it's just because like the Xbox has never really been that popular in Japan, and that's I think one of the core reasons why there hasn't been a whole lot of Japanese games. Well, like that's why I feel like PlayStation usually and to a certain extent Nintendo usually get a lot of those Japanese games developers doing stuff on their consoles more than Xbox. Although the fact that they announced Fantasy Star Online 2 coming to to the Western market through Xbox One first is like the weirdest thing ever.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah, like you would imagine that like the PlayStation would be on it, but no, it's
And I
Xbox.
remember that Like the moment I saw that Final Fantasy Star Online 2 was announced through an Xbox conference, that's when it hit me and it says, okay, Microsoft and our Xbox, they're actually going to Japan, talking to developers and seeing what they can do to, to get them onto their
Heck,
consoles.
yeah, Devil May Cry had a big conference with Xbox more than
Because
Sony.
uh, yeah, and the game so it's mostly known for being on PlayStation.
Yeah, and now it's getting even crazier because I think there was another game I can't think of the top of my head. Um, Kingdom Hearts. You always saw Kingdom Hearts in the Sony press conferences, but now you started seeing them in the Xbox, which is like, why? And now they just recently released the whole like Kingdom Hearts 1 and the final mix versions of both of 1 and 2
Yeah, the
on Xbox.
1.5,
Yeah,
2.5, 2.8, all that stuff's now on Xbox, and that's super weird.
Yeah,
and what we originally thought was going to be
yeah. Say what you
yeah, and now that a game that we thought was going
yeah,
to
like say what you
you're kind of breaking up there, Daniel. Can you hear me?
uh, uh no, I was just gonna say yeah, like it's weird because Yakuza, we saw the entirety of the series on PlayStation, but now we're getting Kiwami 1, Kiwami 2, and 0 on the Xbox now.
Dude, the fact that they what was the game? It wasn't not Kingdom Hearts. It was another game that they announced was coming to. Oh no, that's right. Final Fantasy 7, which is a game that we all thought was going to be a PS4 exclusive. Not that long ago, announced that no, it's a time exclusive. You'll be able to play Final Fantasy 7 on Xbox, and I
Mm-hmm.
think also on Switch, the remake one.
There's no way that's going on Switch. The
Uh,
remake? No, absolutely not.
no, the
PC probably.
PC
like
definitely up there.
they yeah, no, definitely PC, yeah, but Switch, no, they had to port over the mobile game.
Yeah, like they did with 15. You guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's what that was the version they ported over to the Switch, Pocket Edition HD.
hmm And just I think we're getting close to the end now, guys. It's kind of late for us. We're so tired. We got a lot of things. We may be stuck. We're just stuck in the home. We're just kind of getting tired more and more day. But like just to round it off, I think. Do you guys say the price tag is reasonable enough? Which one are you most likely to go forward and talk about?
Huh.
We all got our informations out. We know we have enough money to actually buy one of the two consoles. Which one would you go with? It's taking you guys a while, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I guess for me, it feels a bit. I feel like it's still a bit early for me.
Okay, fair
Like
enough.
we still have. I think we still have quite a bit to go before. Like if anything, like looks is kind of like half the reason is like half of like the reason I would buy a console, and I just really want to see what the PS5 looks like. Cause like I think there's like development kits out there, and they look like this weird like U-shaped thing. I'm like, I really hope that's not the final design. You know what I mean?
It won't be, trust me.
Yeah, there's that one cool design where it's like the square, but like one half the top half is kind of like in a weird angle version. You can just slide up the disc in an angle version. That's one I saw. I don't have time to look it up. But Daniel, what do you think? Which if you had the knowledge, if the money to buy one of the two, which one you most likely go? Or are you in the same boat as Joey, where you kind of have to wait and see? We have to wait. You're gonna wait and see more from later on.
I mean, at this point, I'm still at PlayStation, and the reason is that let's say for example they only have like maybe just one game I'm interested in. It wouldn't be enough for me to buy the console because Xbox, they also released their games on PC now. Like
Mm-hmm.
like the biggest thing we saw them release was the Master Chief Collection onto there. So if anything, like I could just probably get a PS4 and then I mean PS5, And if there's a game that I really, really want to play that's available on Xbox Series X, I can just go ahead and just download the game on my PC instead.
Mhm.
I so pretty much I still get the best of all worlds. I still get my Switch, I still get my PS5, and I still have a PC if I want to play any cool Xbox games that are coming out soon.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's hindering them is that they don't have an exact exclusive, or they're just timed exclusives at best. Like Master Chief Collection was
Like, if
yeah, Master Chief Collection was mostly a console only until like most recently with Halo Reach, where they're releasing it bit by bit on PC.
mm-hmm. if if anything, they will have to do something to make the console version very different and unique compared to the PC version.
Yeah, no,
Like
you're right. I
I
think
don't know, come up with a mode that it can only be done on console.
yeah, it's what I mean. It's funny because like you're saying, the PC thing is what's holding it back. At the same time, it's also making it the best because let's not forget that they started doing the whole crossplay thing, and that's the best way they can do it is by also making it PC worthy. Which I get, but it's also like
Yeah,
it kind of holds it back at the same time.
I mean, yeah, like there's a problem. Like, yeah, it's cool. I could play Killer Instinct on my PC, and I could still play with you on your
Yeah,
Xbox. But
it's holding it
yeah,
back at the same.
they need to do something that makes yeah, like if everything's going to be the same, then why bother? And if the graphics are going to get even better, then all I got to do is just upgrade the graphics card, and that's it. And it'll probably be like maybe $100 or $200 cheaper than buying the console itself. I might be wrong on that. I'm like I bought my I already bought a. I really can't talk today. I bought my PC already built up and
It's
everything,
we're both tired.
so
Yeah.
I don't build my PC or
Hmm.
anything. So
Yeah, you're
yeah,
right. And I mean,
yeah. Point is
if
like
it's for
they
me,
need to do something to mix the console. Yeah,
stand out. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I've had many talks to people who are more PlayStation guys who are a little more in your face about it, but that's what I like you about it. Daniel. You're reasonable.
like I'm reasonable. Like you can talk to me. I love Animal Crossing. I'm playing that game right now. You want to talk about it?
I wish I had Animal Crossing. I think I'd rather play Doom Eternal though.
You don't know how hard it was for me to pick Animal Crossing over Doom.
I believe it. For me, I have to say I'm only leaning towards Series X simply because of one, it's backwards compatibility. Two, long time Halo fan. Those are probably the only reasons I would more likely to go with Xbox. Don't get me wrong, the like we said earlier, the specs, it looks like it's a more powerful console, and that's always interested in me. I always wanted the best the best look for the game, and I don't have the amount of time or the money to build my own PC, which is why I kind of stick with consoles. So seeing it go this way is probably what makes me want to go with it. I know it's a little early to say. I understand what you're Joey saying. I understand what you're saying, Daniel. But for me, I think I kind of
It's still very early.
yeah, it's still pretty early. But it's for right now. If like I said, I would think I would go with Xbox just to counter you, But yeah,
Not a, again. I like to get my hands on any. Ugh, I like to get my hands on as many consoles as I can get. Again, like yeah, I bought an Xbox One primarily just for Killer Instinct, but I still love it.
oh man, I wish I want them to come up with a new Killer Instinct game, dude. That game was amazing. No, it was so
I
underrated.
was so happy. Dude, like you don't know how happy I was when he finally announced that. That was like the biggest title I wanted to bring back.
Dude, I think you and Joey, I think you and I were like, we popped up when they announced that,
Yeah, I mean, it was super. It was a super interesting game.
and like now, my love for fighting games grew even more because that game. It was the first tournament I ever went in. and it's probably not the last one I'll ever enter. But yeah, no, I think that's the best. This is the best place to end it. So yeah, guys, this has been like a really like really chill talk. But I think that's kind of what we wanted to be. Especially since we're talking about some stuff that we're like not 100% into, but like the best that we can do at this moment, especially considering how things have transpired between the gaming world. But yeah, it's be sure to follow us on all the social medias from Instagram to Twitter to Facebook. Be sure to check us out on all the podcasting sites from Google Play, Apple Podcast, Castbox, Spotify, Pandora, and all that good stuff. And be sure to support us on Patreon. Considering how everything's going, we really need that Patreon money now. And also, just follow us on YouTube. You know how it is. Like, subscribe, bell icon. All that good stuff. And yeah, it's been naming it roll call now. It's been your boy. That signs for you, Daniel.
Well, this is Daniel here.
It's me, Joe.
It's been your boy Eli, and we've been the Geek Centurions, having another fun episode. Yeah, you guys have a good one now. Peace.